Welcome to the Ethiopian Folktales program brought to you from the British Council in partnership with Ye Ethiopia Lijoch TV. I am Betty. The Ethiopian Folktales program is a program where we bring you a lot of fun, entertaining, but at the same time, educating stories told all around our country. Today's story is entitled The Donkey and the Hyena. Are you ready for the story? I think you are. But before the story, there are a few activities we would like you to try at home. With these activities, you can try them with your parents, that means your father or your mother. You can try this with your siblings, that means your sisters or brothers. You can try this with your friends, with your relatives, uncles and auntie. You can try this with your cousins, even with your neighbors. You can even try this alone or by yourself. Are you ready for the activities? All right, let's do this. Activity 1. Children, now look at the words on the screen and repeat after me. Den, den. Stable, stable. Pen, pen. Cave, cave. Do you know what these words are? Did you say animal homes? Yes, you're right. These are the names of where different animals live. Do you know which animal lives where? Where do you think hyenas live? And where do you think donkeys live? Well done, children. Did you say hyenas live in a den and donkeys live in a stable? Excellent. Now you're about to watch the story. But again, before the story, there are 2 more activities that you need to do. Activity 2. How do you welcome guests when they come to your house for the first time? What are some of the things you would offer him or her? Yes, when guests come to our house, we welcome them with open arms and happy hearts. We give them food, drink, and a place to rest. That's what Ethiopians are known for, right? Now it's story time, children. You need to watch the story. I want you to listen properly and try and read what's on the screen, and then after that, get ready to answer some questions. I'm going to pose the story into different places so that you answer few questions I have about the story. But what do we mean by pose? Pose means to stop just for a little bit, and then you're going to continue the story, okay? Just listen, try and read what's on the screen, and answer the questions I have. I will be asking you to guess what's going to happen. Okay? Let's go. La, 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 la. The Donkey and the Hyena. A long time ago, the hyena lived in the sky. He used to howl. The donkeys heard him and prayed to the Lord to send the hyena with the beautiful voice to earth. But the Lord said, "If I let him come to earth, he will eat you." But they said, "No, he will not eat us. Just send us the animal." What do you think is going to happen when the hyena and the donkeys meet? When you answer the question, you can say, "The donkeys might," or "The hyena might." Very good, children. Now let's continue the story. So the hyena came to earth, and the donkeys invited him to eat the grass. But the hyena refused. So the donkeys asked him what he would like to eat. He said, "I never eat anything except meat." So the donkeys gathered around and began to discuss the problem, and then decided to give him an old donkey for his feed. A little while later, the hyena said he was hungry again. So they cut off all their ears and gave him all their ears to eat. One day, while they were living like this, the hyena's relatives died, and the hyena asked them to come to his house and mourn with them. All the donkeys went to the hyena's house, but the donkeys didn't have anything to offer the hyena, and they asked him what he wanted them to do. Very good, children. Can you guess what's going to happen next? What do you think are the donkeys going to do? When you answer the question, you can say, "I think the donkeys are going to..." You are doing great. Now let's continue the story. So they decided to cut off all their lips so he could cook them and eat them. But then the hyena saw their teeth, and he was very angry and said, "How dare you laugh while I'm mourning?" It's very scary, right? What do you think is going to happen next? Excellent. Now let's find out how the story is going to end. The donkeys were frightened and they ran away. He chased some and ate them, and from that day they became enemies. Now, Now, children, we're going to practice few words that are taken out of the story. For that activity, I want you to prepare a pen or a pencil and a paper and get ready for the activity, okay? Children, do you know there are a number of words in English that end with same letters? Take, for example, the word howl. Howl ends with the letter L, right? And there are a lot of other words that also end with the letter L. Are you thinking of the possible words that end with the letter L? Great! Let me help you with that. For example, the words owl, towel, and growl all end with same letter, and that is the letter L. Now I'm going to read some words for you. You can see these words on the screen. When I read, you listen and repeat after me, okay? Ring, birth, mango. Now please write the words on your papers. You have 60 seconds. Is what you're going to do next with the words you have written on your papers. Listen carefully. Find words in the story that have same ending letters as the ones you copied on your papers. Remember, same end letter. When you find words in the story with the same ending letter, I want you to write them on each paper you have at hand for each word. Now look at the words I asked you to copy on your papers before the story. Is it clear, children? Let me give you 2 examples to make it clearer for you before you start working on the activity. If on your paper you have the word plus, that means you have a word that ends with the letter S. So if in the story you hear a word like discuss, then you write discuss on your paper which has the word plus because they have same ending letter S. Let's see another example. If on your paper you have the word papaya, that means you have a word
that ends with the letter A. And if in the story you hear a word like hyena, you write this word hyena on your paper which has the word papaya, because they end with the same letter A. Is it clear now? Great! Now let's watch the story together.
The Donkey and the Hyena. A long time ago, the hyena lived in the sky. He used to howl. The donkeys heard him and prayed to the Lord to send the hyena with the beautiful voice to earth. But the Lord said, "If I let him come to earth, he will eat you." But they said, "No, he will not eat us. Just send us the animal." So the hyena came to earth, and the donkeys invited him to eat the grass. But the hyena refused. So the donkeys asked him what he would like to eat. He said, "I never eat anything except meat." So the donkeys gathered around and began to discuss the problem, and then decided to give him an old donkey for his feed. A little while later, the hyena said he was hungry again. So they cut off all their ears and gave him all their ears to eat. One day, while they were living like this, the hyena's relatives died, and the hyena asked them to come to his house and mourn with them. All the donkeys went to the hyena's house, but the donkeys didn't have anything to offer the hyena, and they asked him what he wanted them to do. So they decided to cut off all their lips so he could cook them and eat them. But then the hyena saw their teeth, and he was very angry and said, "How dare you laugh while I'm mourning?" The donkeys were frightened and they ran away. He chased some and ate them, and from that day they became enemies. Well done, children.
Check your answers. Ring ends with the letter G. In the story, you could find words like long and morning that end with the letter G. Birth. Birth ends with the letter H. In the story, you could find words like earth and teeth that end with the letter H. Mango. Mango ends with the letter O. So in the story, you could find words like ago, to, no, so, or do, which all end with the letter O.
Well, it looks like we've come to the end of today's program. But before we go, we want you to do some activities at home. Like I said, you can try and do this with anyone that lives with you. All right? Can you try and retell the story to anyone in your family? But what do we mean by retell the story? Retell means to tell again. You can tell something you heard or watched again to somebody else. But most of the time, when you retell something, you do it differently, and we want you to do it differently. Actually, we want you to do it even more differently. Be creative with it. You can do lots of things with the story that you have just heard. All right? But what do we mean by creative? By creative, we mean to do something in a new way, in a way that it has never been done before. Let me give you a few examples. For example, today, you actually watched a story entitled The Donkey and the Hyena, right? You could try retell that story to someone in your family, maybe using songs or pictures or poems, or you can even retell it just the way I told you. Storytelling, we say it, okay? But when you do that, is it okay if you can try and video record yourself and send that to us so that we can also see what you're doing at home? It would be great. You can use this number on the screen here, only this number. Use Telegram, and by the way, you can ask your mommy and daddy to help you with that, or any adult that you live with in your home, okay? Then you send us that video using this number on Telegram, all right? Great! Okay, so we've come to the end of today's program. That's it for me. Thank you for being with us. Until we meet next time with another fun, entertaining, but at the same time educating story, it's a goodbye from me and the whole team here. Goodbye, children.
For more collection of similar Ethiopian folktales, please visit www.ethiopianfolktales.com. Do you want to improve your English even more? Make sure you visit our free British Council Learn English Kids and Learn English Teens websites, where you can find online games, songs, stories and activities that will help you learn English. LearnEnglishKids.BritishCouncil.org, LearnEnglishTeens.BritishCouncil.org.